Every university degree aims for a specific cognitive shift, guiding students from relying on chaotic, tacit assumptions to wielding organized, explicit scientific knowledge. To make that leap, students must develop what educational theorists like Donald Schoen and David Kolb call reflective competence. It is a cross-disciplinary requirement designed to force students to analyze their own actions and extract concrete lessons from their lived experiences. Instructors typically attempt to capture this competence by assigning written learning portfolios and reflective diaries. But these formats carry a critical vulnerability. They are deeply subjective. When different instructors review the exact same portfolio, their final grades often show significant variance. This variance exists because standard academic rubrics struggle to quantify personal feelings and lived experiences. An instructor is left trying to assign a numerical value to a student's private emotional reaction. Without a standardized instrument to stroke away that grading subjectivity, reflective practice remains a theoretical ideal rather than a validated, trackable competency. A team of educational researchers developed a direct solution, the Rubric for Narrative Reflection Assessment, or NARA. The research team designed NARA specifically to evaluate narratives from a multifactorial perspective. It is built to track both academic learning and professional development within a single text. To do this, NARA breaks qualitative reflection down into observable, quantifiable elements, allowing educators to track a student's cognitive evolution step by step. By applying specific indicators, the rubric successfully translates subjective, emotional texts into objective, statistically defensible data. The core architecture of NARA operates on a grid. It measures 4 primary elements of reflection, grading each across 4 levels of depth, ranging from simple description to critical transformation. First, the rubric isolates the situation or experience. It measures the student's ability to clearly identify and contextualize the specific event that triggered their reflection. Second, it evaluates prior beliefs. The instructor audits the text for the student's awareness of their own preconceptions regarding themselves, the context, and their chosen discipline. Third is inquiry and targeting. Here, the student must demonstrate a process of investigation by formulating explicit questions or hypotheses about their focus. The fourth element is transformation. To reach the highest level, the student must move beyond analysis to set concrete, scientifically backed learning objectives and new action plans. By mapping a student's writing against these 4 pillars, instructors can pinpoint the exact stage where a student's cognitive processing stalls. Let's apply this to a real-world test case. This is Text 3, a reflection written by an education student at the very beginning of their practicum in a nursery school. The student succeeds in Element 1. They clearly identify a contextualized problem, detailing shortcomings like an excess of commercial material and a lack of teacher meetings. However, the text fails across the remaining elements. The student lists intended changes, like creating a space for dialogue, but does so without analyzing any prior beliefs or building a process of explicit inquiry. The NARA matrix identifies this text as a low-level rhetorical description that lacks the necessary components for professional transformation. Now we look at Text 4. This was written by the same student at the end of their practicum period, representing a mature reflective state. We see an immediate improvement in Element 1.2. The student now makes nuanced value judgments firmly tied to their own emotional engagement with the classroom. More importantly, they achieve mastery in Elements 3 and 4. They actively test hypotheses, like experimenting with fluorescent paint, evaluate the results, and formulate a new action plan based on their observations of the children. The NARA rubric provides an objective measurement of the cognitive change between these 2 points in time, removing the reliance on instructor intuition. This raises an immediate question about reliability. If 8 different instructors use NARA to grade the exact same text, will their scores align? These whisker plots show a validation study where 8 authors independently graded 6 texts across 10 NARA indicators. Looking at the box plot density, particularly texts 1 and 5, we see high consistency. Variance between markers rarely exceeded a single point. When calculated across all dimensions, the study achieved a Cronbach's alpha of 0.87. This score indicates that NARA provides a statistically reliable method for scoring portfolios. It moves these assessments from the realm of individual interpretation into a framework of shared, measurable standards. By isolating 10 specific indicators, NARA brings verifiable measurement to the highly personal process of reflection. Yet, the researchers noted that the rubric serves a dual purpose. While it is a powerful instrument for teachers to use for grading, its highest value is actually formative. When instructors provide this rubric to students before the writing begins, it establishes a clear horizon of expectations. This transparency in assessment criteria directly triggers self-regulated learning. The student understands the specific cognitive steps required to demonstrate growth. This creates a specific psychological outcome. By internalizing the NARA framework, the student transitions from an inter-psychological state, relying on the instructor, to an intra-psychological state, where they guide themselves. This internalized roadmap ensures that students can continually initiate their own inquiry cycles, evaluate their environments, and transform their own prior knowledge. Standardizing the measurement of reflection improves the accuracy of the grade and, simultaneously, provides students with a repeatable system for the reconstruction of their professional knowledge.